That's not horsepower.
It's drag off the front car.
The thing just obviously leaves the biggest wake. That's why Brodie could go and do what he did in the shootout.
Well, we have to bring you down a little bit. I went in and we were chatting just before we came on the pod, and I said about my first Bathurst. You go, yeah, I won mine.
Yeah.
So we
we had to knock you down a peg.
Thank you, Elliot. We owe you a few.
I just can't believe how that's unravelled, the whole McLaren thing. It's a train wreck. Like, it's Alain Prost and an MP4 for McLaren. And I'm sitting behind him and I'm going, surely he's looking in the mirror going, fucking, I'm on the same bit of road as Greg Murphy.
100%. He's like,
100%.
He's like, is that the 427 Monaro?
The trees went in just behind the B-pillar. She's just like, eyes are open, mouth is wide open, trying to scream, and nothing was coming out. And I was just like, oh, that's it. I've killed someone.
Oh no! He's in the fence! The man's in the fence! Oh, unbelievable!
Sound check.
You didn't say it again. Say it.
Sound check, far out.
That's 2 from 2. Sound check.
Oh, man.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Well, I thought, it makes a sound, so that's a check.
Cheers,
anyway.
mate.
Well, welcome back, Murph. We've got Greg Murphy in the studio this time here in Melbourne with us. Great to have you back on the pod, mate.
It's a pleasure.
You've jumped the pond, mate, and you're this time in
I
our
had nothing
studio.
on this afternoon, so it timed in well. It was like, damn it, I've got nothing on. I'll have to say yes.
I was going to say, you didn't need to tell us that. You could have said, no, I chose. You guys had so much on, and I thought, fuck, I've got to come and see the boys.
Well, I wanted to do it here. You guys came to New Zealand last time, special, Barb's bloody got on a plane, bloody had to take time off work, everything. So I think I sort of feel, I don't know if I owe you, but at least, I was here. So here we go.
I'm not sure how to take the compliment when you came in as well. You said, looks very different to on the
It does.
TV.
Yeah. Have you ever turned the cameras around and shown people?
No.
It's heaps nicer outside, he said when he walked in.
We've got a casting couch behind me. We got, loads of shit just. It's pretty much an
There's
empty
some over
workshop.
there, though.
Yeah,
Does that ever get used? Does that get used anymore?
that one hasn't been turned on since COVID.
I think
And that's the same as about another 500,000 Sims in Australasia.
That one I never turned off for 2 years.
the screen's still on
stayed
now.
It actually ran.
It ran. The computer was on. I didn't realise. I'd moved, at home before I moved
My
into this
power bill's
factory.
high.
I reckon the rats in here have a go at night, maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, maybe. Well, anyway, it is great to have you back here, mate. And since we last spoke, you have launched a podcast yourself.
Yeah. I thought, geez, if you blokes we can sit and talk shit like that, anyone can do it. No, not really. It's not the case at all. We through AutoSense, which is a company that I do some work for. They're big into road safety in New Zealand with various different things. They do fleet training, and but they also have some amazing tech that mainly heavy transport use in their fleets with fatigue and distraction cameras. They actually wake drivers up through AI sort of generated or cameras that look at eyeballs and watch people's eyes closing and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And then it has
Alerts through audio? Or?
audio and seat shaker. Put a seat shaker just like on a sim or whatever, put it under the seat, and then it does that when someone's eyes are closed for a period of time, which is actually 1.5 seconds. So I do some stuff with them, and it sort of correlates really well with all the other road safety stuff that I do. It's just sort of different sort of touch points.
Because I think last time, mate, it was actually after we recorded your last pod, we went and had dinner, and you said, road safety is obviously close to you, something you do a lot of work in over in New Zealand. And I think you also mentioned that Tony Quinn's got a foundation that you help with as well. Is that correct for the road safety stuff?
Well, so that's through Street Smart, but so the AutoSense things, that's why we're doing those pods, right? So the
podcast is called In the Driver's Seat with Greg Murphy.
It is cool.
If anyone wants to.
It is, and you can get it from all the normal places. But so they wanted to do something to try and talk about obviously what they do, AutoSense do in the marketplace, but do it a little bit differently. So we just got well-known New Zealanders, and we took them for a drive and talked about their experiences and that kind of stuff on driving, and what their sort of pet hates were and all that kind of stuff, and if they've had any accidents and incidents and all that kind of thing, and then dive a bit deeper into them as professionals and what their lives have been about as well. So we using, I suppose, the driving side of things to keep close to what AutoSense are about, but using well-known people to hopefully get people to listen as well. So that was, I think they're nearly all out. Maybe the last one got launched a couple of days ago. And that was really cool because, some interesting people with some great stories. and sort of great, some great Kiwis that have done amazing stuff. So that's one part of it, and then Street Smart, which is our practical driver training program that I've been a trustee of since the beginning, and Holden actually invested in to set up. In 2017, we started that process and we got it up and running. And they spent a lot of money setting Street Smart up, which is a practical course that we do, unfortunately, only at racetracks, because that's the only place that's got enough asphalt to be able to simultaneously do the different parts of the program, which all but one are practical driving. So you need a controlled environment, obviously, to do that. So Tony got involved last year after there was a terrible, terrible crash in Cromwell, and a young 17-year-old, Keelan Stroud, 17-year-old on his restricted licence, travelling to go to work, made a mistake and ended up getting killed. And again, it was just another story of tragedy that was unnecessary because of a lack of experience, lack of knowledge, so many parts of the puzzle through our licensing system in New Zealand, which lets drivers down. Yeah. And Tony went, I've had enough of this. He believes that it's the government's responsibility, and it is to do it, but they're not doing enough. So he's like, stuff it, we're going to get Street Smart going again. And he's tipped $750,000 into Street Smart over 3 years. So we're nearly at the end of our second year of his funding, and that gave us a chance to completely get Street Smart going again, because it's been in hibernation. You find out a lot about what's important to people when you are looking to get funding to do something that affects everybody. Yeah. So driving is something that we all do. We're all out there on the roads together with a whole different levels of skills across the board. At any given moment, fate, because it's fate. People go, it's luck. It's not bad luck. It's fate. It's being in the wrong place at the wrong time, potentially, when someone else makes a mistake or whatever. We're all out there doing this stuff, doing this thing, this driving thing, thinking it's not going to happen to us, right? That's the norm. And when most people are ill-prepared to manage a motor vehicle safely, and shit happens, like bad shit happens all the time. And, our government doesn't do enough to actually focus on training. And so, Tony's going to put the money in to give us a boost to get it going again. But as I said, through the period, we couldn't get any funding. We had a little bit of funding from people. The Giltrap Group gave us some money, but we just could not keep it going and run it the way we needed to run it, with a proper budget to make sure we could promote the course as well as run the courses, because we subsidise it. So it's $149 per person. It's focused on young drivers, but it's for anybody. It's not designed for young drivers. It's designed for drivers. But we focus on young drivers because we want them to have better skills early, so they don't make mistakes early and therefore end up as a casualty, as a statistic or whatever, or have a bad experience. So it's focused on young drivers, $149, but the cost to run it per person on a day is probably in the vicinity, depending on where we go, to $500 to $600. Now, if you charge $600, no one's going to turn up. Yeah, no one. So you've got to subsidise it, and so you go out there and you're trying to get funding. The government looks at you and we don't believe in driver training. We don't believe in advanced training. I said it's not advanced training. We teach people how to use ABS, and they go, well, what's that? That's the response you get, right? What's that? Yeah. And that to me completely identifies the problem. Exactly. Those making the decisions, they go, oh, well, what's ABS? Oh, well, why do you have tread on tyres? They're the ones spending all our money, and yet they don't know any of the stuff. And so when you start to go out there and people, how do we help? Well, we need money. Oh shit, well, we haven't got any. We went into hibernation because we couldn't get anyone to help us go out there and change outcomes when it came to the road. And then Tony steps up, as he does and as he has so many times. And then from that, we were able to build, and we've got more partners on board. Subaru came on board as well. They're helping us. We've got a lottery going at the moment with some Subarus or Subarus in New Zealand. So streetsmartlottery.org.nz. buy some tickets.
There you go.
And that's going to help us fund Street Smart into the future.
Right.
So we got them on board. We've also got Star Insurer on board. We've got, I'm going to forget. There's some really amazing people who are invested in it because they want to be a part of the solution.
Yeah.
They're not about their brand and getting recognition for it or having an increase in their KPIs on revenues or anything like that. They just want to be a part of helping change and shift the needle on road safety.
Is that one of the things you think the politicians are weighing up?
Actually, AutoSense is also a partner of ours on that as well. They sponsor Street Smart as well. Yeah.
Right. I was going to say, is that one of the things you think the politicians are struggling to see how they can get a return on their investment by pushing it? Because they're always going to have their agenda, but you do need people that, I guess, you're getting independent support because it's so hard to get the governments to back it.
They just don't know.
But do they just not think it will return in votes though? Because that's probably what they see as currency.
Yep. That's part of a lot of the decisions are made is based on what they think the voters want. But it's also a bureaucracy is the problem because there's people protecting themselves constantly, right? And there's lots of lobbying going on for various things and bits and pieces. When it comes to actually, licensing just take licensing, the lack of understanding the decisions that are made and some very much based on trying to create power within the voting public, right? Because the last government made a decision 2 years ago to make sitting your license test free. So you paid once and then you could go back as many times as it took to get your license, right? They thought that was a great idea and that was targeted directly at voters, right? To get people to go, oh, okay, well, I pay once, I don't have to pay again, right? So then it's cheaper for me. And everybody involved in the industry that delivered licensing said, do not do that, because we will have the floodgates will open and we will have it'll be out of control.
Yeah.
Because one, if you can go back time after time and rebook, then why would you try to learn something?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you actually go and get any information? Why would you go and study? Why would you do anything? I'll just keep going back until I get it, right?
And you're doing the same thing as well. It's not like you're being challenged in different ways. You're
sure enough,
good at a niche.
Sure enough, they went through with it. The industry said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Went through with it. It was a colossal fuck up. And they lost the election. The current government came in and reversed it immediately and took it back to where it was. So, and these are the decisions that are made that are about, they're not about the people. They're not about helping. They're not about, that's about trying to staying in power. So we got a bit of, there's stuff going on at the moment. And again, stuff that's been put forward to make getting your license easier and cheaper. No mention of making you better drivers along the way.
I hope you're enjoying this episode, but I do have to interrupt just quickly to thank our fantastic supporters that allow us to create the content for you. East Coast Car Rentals. If you're in the market for a rental car, think of those guys. And if you'd like a cheeky 15% discount, AHU15 is the discount code there for 15% off. If you're in the market to buy a car, not rent one, Lancaster Motor Group, we've got you covered for new or used cars. So think Lancaster Motor Group. Quadlock, fantastic supporter of our podcast as well. We use their products every single day on the pod using their desk mounts here. Also, we've used them to create the additional content like we did the Adelaide Motorsport Festival using their action camera mounts. So whether it's mounts, phone cases, they've got you covered. Quadlockcase.net. Now, the website for all of these brands that support us will be in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. They think if they can just show the voter that they're saving a bit in their wallet,
that's what it is.
That'll get a vote rather than actually saving.
But when you're talking such an insignificant amount per person, that's the cost of a life lost in New Zealand. They estimate the social cost of someone being killed on our roads is 13 million per person. The social cost over the lifespan, right? 13 million dollars per person. We're going to kill over 300 people on New Zealand roads this year.
Far out.
Do the math.
I know. That is...
Yeah. And so, when you've got that much, why can't you see you need to actually invest in fixing that better than what you are? You can't just do it by putting wire barriers up on the road because people are still going to crash.
Yeah. It's bloody cool you're doing it, mate, because I know Well, at some stage, we've all been driver trainers. Like as a young race car driver, it's kind of all you can do while you're trying to chase a dream. So we've all spent a lot of time on skid pans and trying to train people. We're all super passionate about it. So Australia's in the same boat, mate. I've been screaming for years, why do you not have to do some form of defensive training before you sit your licence? Like it's just ridiculous. So it's cool that yourself and your partners over there and Quinny you've got behind that because it's bloody much needed.
Well, we know it's making a difference. It's not we're not achieving as much as we would like to because of scale is obviously a really important thing, and also, people they look at it and they've got to it's $149. We try to keep it cheap to try and make it accessible for the majority of people, but still that's a lot of money to a lot of people.
So it's the basic things though, and teaching them the importance of a good set of tyres. I heard an interview. You only did it a couple of days ago, I think, and I was listening to it. And you said that you've noticed the difference, right, between a set of tyres can be up to 30 metres in braking distance.
Yep.
So when you're making the decision to go and buy your set of tyres, the extra little bit of money it'll cost, every day we're making decisions based on for risk and mitigating some risk at life. The simple choice of just paying a little bit extra for a good set of tyres, that's not an advanced driver training program. You're just educating people of the importance of, it's maybe not a rip-off when you see them on the shelf and they are a little bit better, but the value and the safety you get with something such a small decision is worth so much.
And those companies, and I work with a company in New Zealand who's big on actually that as well. They are a tyre company, they sell tyres, but we focus on talking about safety with their brands, and I love that because again it adds to the whole message that I'm doing, but the data and the information and again there's the lack of knowledge of people because again the question in our I'm going on about this a bit, but a question in our learner's license test, the theory test, right? The question is, what's the minimum tread depth that you're allowed on your tyres across the width of your tyre to get a warrant of fitness, to be legal on the road? And the answer is 1.5 millimetres. There's no question that relates to why you need to have tread on the tyre.
Exactly.
So it's what makes your car legal, but why?
Yeah.
Isn't the why more important?
Yeah.
Why it's important.
It's not just to make the police officer happy that checks it.
That's right. Yeah.
I definitely don't feel like we're going on about it though, because the last pod we did with you was great to catch up on your career and chat about
stuff.
Give us insight too into your career and an opportunity with you. But road safety, I can tell, even when we were chatting at the pub after our pod last time, what it meant to you. I was also exposed to it. Like you've said, everyone will be exposed to the risk of driving a car or have someone they know and care about be affected by it. And I almost died when I was 13. I was in a car accident, still very good friends with the driver to this day. It was just a big bloody eye-opener at the time. I was in the Children's Hospital here in Melbourne a few months and one of the very lucky ones. But that's why I think road safety it is about education. And mine was fatigue. The driver fell asleep, which can happen. I was very fortunate. My dad had actually had a truck accident himself where he'd fallen asleep. And he understood how easily it happened. And as a young kid, it was difficult for me to accept it. I was kind of like, how does that happen? But it's so easy. And but I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about it, but also understand why was it, or when did this become important for you to talk about? Like for me, there's been an experience. That's why. Has there been an experience for yourself that caused you to...
Just quickly on the fatigue thing, which I'll cover twice here in this, but quickly, we were talking about AutoSense and their stuff, right, and their cameras that they have in the cars. They've got 6,000 cameras in heavy vehicles in New Zealand.
Yep.
They wake someone up 40 times a day.
Wow. So potentially 40 crashes.
40 absolute genuine verified fatigue events in those 6,000 cameras in New Zealand. Just 6,000.
Just in New Zealand.
Just in New Zealand. On the cameras in New Zealand, they verify, it's verified 40 a day on average. The system wakes them up. So that's how insane, and that's just heavy transport. Don't think that it only happens in heavy transport. It happens in anyone driving a car, anyone on a motorbike. Like it's maybe not motorbike so much because you're a bit more aware, but it will happen. And so you go and extrapolate that across the amount of cars on the road given time. You think about how many people are nearly falling asleep. So no, there's a stat for you. But for me, you had a crash, I had a crash. Right. Didn't realize that wasn't the instigator at the time, but it was a wake-up call for me. So 19 years old in New Zealand, and I talk about this in one of the pods actually, in the driver's seat pods. But I'd just come out of my first season in motor racing in New Zealand, won a scholarship. So that gave me my push into motorsport. So Formula Ford.
Yep.
I just would finish the season. I thought I was, pretty shit hot. So I'd finished school, gone car racing over the summer, and was then working for the guy who'd done the scholarship at Manfield Racecourse in the Manawatu. And I'd gone home for Easter, so April. All my mates had gone off to do their things, uni, all that kind of stuff. And it was some people were back in Hawke's Bay for Easter, long weekend, and we were all catching up, doing what you do when you're 19 years old, which was have a few beers and have a few laughs and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, on the Sunday, I think it was the Sunday, we'd been at a friend's house, and I'd had a few beers, so someone drove my car that hadn't been drinking back into Havelock, into town, and we were mucking around at a mate's place, and I hadn't had anything to drink for a while, and it was midnight, and a mate of mine goes, can someone take me home? And he lived 25 minutes out of Havelock, out of where I live, and I said, yeah, sweet, no worries, I'll take you home. And got in the car and had a girlfriend in the car as well. We took him out to his place in the country, so it's dark. There's no street lights, no nothing. On the way back, fatigued, tired, shouldn't have been driving, had alcohol in my system, came around a corner that I knew very well. I'd driven this piece of road heaps of times, drifted wide, not driving fast, and I was, I usually did drive too fast, but I wasn't actually driving too fast this time, just driving normal, and dropped the left-hand rear wheel just off the edge of the road into some loose gravel, and at that point, fate was in control. So I was a passenger. Spun 180 degrees, went across the road onto a grass verge. It's April, bit damp, right? Slid down a bank and into some trees down the bank. Cars off the road, cannot be seen from the road, smashed all the glass. I was in a Datsun 1200.
Yeah, right.
So my little pride and joy Datsun 1200.
Yep.
So not really built for safety.
No, not the safest thing, yeah.
A 1972 Datsun 1200. Into the trees. The trees went in just behind the B pillar. Just bent the thing in half.
Yep.
And we're on the bank. I'm looking down at the girl sitting in the passenger seat, and she's just like, eyes are open, mouth is wide open, and I could the only thing was moonlight, and I could see, and trying to scream, and nothing was coming out, and I was just like, oh, that's it. I've killed someone. That's what I thought.
Wow.
And finally, she managed to get her breath, and I realised that I hadn't.
Yeah.
As I say, it was nothing to do with me. It was fate decided that day. Fractured a collarbone. Ran up onto the road. Why someone just happened to be driving past? They were, because it's a country road.
Yeah.
12:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
No one around. Pulled up, stopped. This is 1991. Don't have any of these things.
Yeah.
No cell phones. Nothing. So the person's taken off up the road to a farmhouse, and I don't know how long it took. It took ages. And then, every emergency service turned up, the whole thing, off to hospital.
Yep.
I got breath tested, still had alcohol in my system, wasn't over the limit, but the limit was 400 milligrams per 100 whatever litres of oxygen back then.
Which is higher than it is. What is it now?
250.
Right.
So we dropped ours. We were way later than Australia.
Yep.
Dropping down, but ours is now 250. So I was 300.
Yeah.
So I would have been, I was under, but I would be over now.
Yep.
And so didn't get done for drunken charge, but got prosecuted and for causing injury, careless use of a motor vehicle causing injury.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
know
you
that
wouldn't
one.
because
Yeah.
it's But so I used to go to schools and stuff and talk about this and bits and pieces. So second chance,
Yeah.
like massive second chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And perspective is like I don't regret mine actually happening, to be honest, because I've made different choices since then as well.
Oh, completely.
And that's why the education. It's funny. You never want to have a first-hand experience, but if you can go and do these types of courses, like we just don't have enough here in Australia for it, and it's pretty obvious that like the problem is the government's not funding it and not being able to justify the spend, which is pretty easy to justify.
It's also not forcing you to go to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if it was a
It's too easy.
prerequisite,
Too easy to get your license.
if it was a prerequisite, and
right.
let's say your license is $100 now. I actually don't know how much. Let's say it was $100 now, but it was $300, and it came with some form
One
of
day.
training, half a day at Sandown as an example, as a defensive day or wherever it is, whatever it is. People are going to just have to save up and might take a little while to get their license or work an extra shift or whatever works.
Making it free is not
It's a
good.
culture too, right? Well, it's just the way. So now in New Zealand, if someone suggested that now, they go, "No, oh my God, you're going to just destroy the world by making this so hard. Oh, people are going to struggle." Well, you're exactly right. Well, it's just going to take a little bit longer, and you're also going to have more respect for it. You're also going to work if you really want it, you'll work for it.
Yeah.
And I tell you, you change something like that, in a year down the track, everyone's got used to it. That's the way it is, and everyone just carries on.
Yeah.
But you will prepare people better, and because in New Zealand, the vast majority of people that are injured and killed on our roads is because of people that they just make mistakes.
Yep.
They get to a situation that is that they are surprised by, and they don't have the skills or the ability cognitively or reactively to make a decision that is the right decision or a better decision, and therefore they end up in a situation where then fate is the determining factor.
Hey, Scotty, you know how our hunters are always trying to watch races from all over the world, Japan, Europe, USA, but they get that annoying pop-up saying this content isn't available in your region?
Mate, tell me about it.
Well, imagine if they could watch any race they wanted anywhere in the world without any dodgy pop-ups or any buffering.
Well, it's funny you say that, actually. We have a brand new partner on the show who's built exactly for that, NordVPN.
Oh, here we go. Tell me more.
We've actually been using NordVPN whilst we've been on the road creating the content for everyone. It keeps your data safe when you're on those dodgy motel Wi-Fi networks. It hides your location, and it also stops those dodgy ads following you around when you Google something just once.
So if you love your racing like us, or you just want to keep what you do online your own business, grab NordVPN. It's fast, secure, ridiculously easy. Even Scotty figured it out.
Yeah, righto, mate. Well, if you want to get the best deal on your NordVPN plan, head to nordvpn.com/Apex Hunters. Our link will actually get you 4 additional months on top of a 2-year plan. And don't stress, there's a Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So I will pop the link to Nord's website in the description of this podcast.
Sort your online life out, stay safe, and stream like a hunter.
Yeah, I agree as well that it's not like it is fate. Because that's what I say is that I've heard a lot of people say, but I'm a good driver. But regardless of how good you think you are as well, you don't know about the guy coming towards you. What their skill level is, or
And the parting sort of message that I say to the kids is like, you are doing everything right. You're driving along, minding your own business, doing everything right, but you need to be ready for the other person.
Yeah.
Right. That is going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And we know that at that moment you're driving along, doing everything right. You take your eye off the road for 1 second to look at a text message. Right. That's the moment that person makes a mistake, and gets it wrong and brings you into the incident, into the crash, that then you have no control over what happens next.
Well, how many times does the person that's not drink driving get hurt by the person drink driving or making a poor decision, and they're the consequence almost?
Way too many people.
Yeah. Well, last time we spoke as well was Formula One. Liam Lawson was having a bit of a nightmare because I think he had either just been dropped, going through a tough period.
Yeah.
But he's had an upward turn, I would say, in his performance now.
When did we get on?
He had.
I think he'd just been dropped.
No.
He hadn't been dropped yet, but he was
getting treated
a week
like
late.
shit,
He was
maybe.
about to be dropped.
Oh, sorry. No, yeah, it was Red Bull. Sorry,
Yes, he was at Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he was having a tough time. And we actually, I thought that was a really good chat because it led us into your partnership and support with Ryan Wood as well.
Yep.
But right now, I'd say Liam Lawson has somewhat turned the tables a little bit. He's doing really well, and Brazil was amazing. He did a great job.
It's been a season, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been a season for some of these young guys. It's been incredible. Brazil. I mean, one stopped that car all the way to the finish to hold up of Hadjar right at the
Freight
finish.
train at the end.
Oh, the freight train at the end was amazing. He's done, and that was reminiscent of what's her name, Baku, when he finished fifth.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he held off that entire train there all the way through. Another amazingly well constructed and thought out drive. Same in Brazil on the weekend. Is he going to keep his drive?
I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? I mean, the thing.
I don't. I wonder if he even knows yet. I mean, it's we're now in November. He's supposed to know, I think.
I thought it was going to be I thought it was actually going to be at the end of October. That was what I thought as well. With Arvid Lindblad coming in as well.
Yeah.
But
I think if they're going to get rid of, if Yuki basically is out of the picture, then they've got no option to keep Liam.
Yeah.
Surely.
And there's talk Yuki's going to IndyCar, right, because of Honda and all that?
Yeah, don't know.
it's been an interesting year it's funny that you almost didn't want the opportunities first. Like, it's not worked out great for Yuki now, but whether or not that's tied with the Honda deal and everything changing with Red Bull, with him likely being on the out. But like Colapinto,
What a shit game.
Oh, it's brutal.
I mean, it's just like, what?
It's so cruel. I mean, motorsport in general. Look at the supercars with contracts being torn up like they mean less than a handshake. But it is funny that everyone that got in first, like Doohan got into the Alpine first, booted thinking, the next guy will be better. Now they've just extended Colapinto's deal again after he rewarded him with writing another car off at Brazil. But it is, in a way, Liam was the same. He got promoted into that car, thought it was going to be great. And then it was like, he's no good. Let's go with Yuki. But then it was like, maybe it's not the driver. But it was sort of to the benefit of the second person. They got given a longer opportunity than the first
Because they couldn't go and do it again.
Just pure, exactly. So it was pure circumstance. But I do hope that we see Liam, because we're like on some platforms like nearly 50% Kiwis listen to us. So it is good to see him have an upward turn because now.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately there was a couple in there though that were pretty average. So, so what data, what are they looking at? What do they see that we don't?
The gap between him and Hadjar doesn't look too bad anymore though.
No, but
there was a period where I thought
it has definitely got a little bit better. But Hadjar qualifying wise has still got a bit of an edge, hasn't he? So,
but I think he's likely to get the promotion, isn't he?
I think. I mean, that's what they're talking about, right? I mean, he clearly is a star.
Yeah.
He cracks me up. His radio stuff is just epic.
I liked how at Brazil he was saying back to his engineer, he was almost like, don't talk to me like that anymore. I've had enough of you. It was like a real passive-aggressive, they're like gaslighting each other.
It's hilarious.
But you can have a good career though, and that's what I hope for Liam because his first run at it was bad. Like, I don't think he got looked after. Same as Jack. Like, Jack could have easily done what Colapinto has done now. In hindsight, there was nothing, but he may never get a chance in Formula 1 again. Not to.
How many have come back?
Yeah. Whereas Liam might have that opportunity now to have a good career still, like Gasly. Gasly got put in the main team, got demoted again very quickly, and now has gone on to have a great career. And he's regarded as one of the best. Albon's, like you said, perfect example of that. Maybe Liam could be that guy, but
but he needs to be in that car next year because there's no other spot. So that's pretty significant.
Who do you think they could replace him with if it's not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it would be something out of left field. It'll be out of left field like a couple of the signings in supercars. That just like where did they come from? We know why or how they came, but but I don't know who's lined up other than Lindblad, who's in the Red Bull Junior program that could be anywhere near ready. So I think hopefully that is going to mean that he gets another shot at the title.
I think so. Likely to be Arvid and Liam probably next year, and then
I think
Yuki,
that from our limited knowledge, what makes sense. But how many times did Red Bull do things that don't make sense?
Same as McLaren. How many times this year? And because I was going to ask, what do you think about that? Because we're talking about how great Mark was doing at the time managing Oscar, but he came out today. I saw Oscar's quote it was a combination of a few things. There was obviously what happened with the pit stops in Monza, and that's him referring to his performance in Baku. So he's saying that what happened at Monza contributed to his performance at Baku.
Ooh.
Monza was the switch and so he must have been pissed off or something that contributed to him over driving. So the management McLaren at the moment is, I think it's actually a bit out of control. The fact even at Brazil they didn't protest or didn't even try and argue the fact that he got that 10-second penalty.
Yeah.
If that was Christian Horner, how many times we heard now everyone saying, if that was Christian Horner, he'd have burnt the steward's room down trying to defend Max.
Or Toto.
And I think
But it got done during the race though.
Yeah, but I think you can argue it, can't you, during?
They can try. They can try. I mean, I mean, that was another terrible decision.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with what he got. I just think, and when Charles Leclerc comes out and sort of agrees as well. I mean, he was hard done by. Out of both of them, he got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
But yet he was sort of a little supportive of Oscar against the penalty, mate. I just can't believe how that's unravelled the whole McLaren thing. Like, it's a train wreck for an organisation. and I've referenced heaps of people to listen to this podcast of God, I can never remember his goddamn name. It's really good. It's on.
I'm sure it is. I'll look it up.
Yeah, the F1.
It must be awesome. You can't remember its name.
The F1 podcast that Clark, is it? What's his name?
Gunther.
No, the official F1 one. What's his name? It's not Clark. No, it's not Clarkson. What's his name?
The one with the three of them.
No, I've made a meal of that. Anyway,
Who is good on it is Jolyon Palmer. He does one.
Right,
And he,
no,
he
it's not him.
reviews
It's
incidents.
the other guy. Anyway, there's a really good podcast, and it talks about the change. I'll find it.
Let us know, will you? We'll drop a link.
It's an idea. I mean, this is how bad I am. Like, I thought he'd won Bathurst last time on the
that's
pod.
right.
Yeah, it's like you know what it's like after you win.
He let that
No, I
slide,
don't.
though. He
Yeah.
let that slide.
Anyway,
Thanks for reminding me again.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been another year and still haven't.
Did you not win this year? So it was a great podcast talking about how they changed the philosophy inside the team and the culture in the team, and they because they were running it on all these silos, people looking after themselves, and they went in and Andrea and Zach and these guys, Tyne, his name is something Tyne, Piers Tyne, I remembered it. And he talks about it. It's really, really well done, and it explains how they realised what was wrong and how they turned it around, and it's impressive, and they are. It was impressive. They've turned it around, and then you've got two drivers, two number ones, and the history of having two number ones is not good. Like Prost Senna. I mean, it's almost that happening again. And it never lasts, right? Because teams can't manage it properly because they try to be fair and equitable, and it just doesn't work. And so from going from rebuilding, redesigning, repackaging to being two-time constructors champions, I'm pretty sure they will win a drivers' championship this year, but to actually then show weakness. In decision making and control and stuff is just, it's almost like, oh my goodness, what are you going to do next, which is wrong. Like it has been a train wreck to watch lately. But and then on the flip side, Lando has actually strengthened, in my opinion. Right? His qualifying and his outright pace is now a real problem for Oscar. And they talk about, the differences in their styles, which was really costly. And Oscar, I think, actually acknowledged this, just his style not being able to maximise the front tyre at Austin and at Mexico through a couple of sectors where he lost all his time. And Mark Hughes wrote that article in Motorsport. If you're interested, he writes the best articles in F1, the Motorsport mag, the English one. He writes brilliant stuff. So I, read that and you sort of get, okay, that makes a bit of sense. And Oscar sort of acknowledged that was the case. But then I'm not so sure about Brazil, very different racetrack, not the same as those two circuits, and the tight stuff where Lando leans on the front tyre a lot more and generates, more grip. He's more aggressive. He loads the car differently, which allowed the McLaren to work better. And that's where Oscar was supposedly a little bit weak. Fast stuff, no problem. But then Brazil really is a lot of fast, mostly fast.
I thought he was going to be much quicker.
I thought so too. I thought he was going to be a real challenge.
Second.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the hard thing as well to recover from is he's not running P2 either. He's not winning. He's actually third, fourth.
Or crashing. Yeah.
I'd heard he hadn't taken a corner off of a car until Baku.
Yeah.
Was it Baku? Was his first crash?
Oh, the amount of finishing in a row, the amount of races in a row.
I think he had the record. Well, he had was up there for the most races, laps finished, not crashing, all that stuff. Yeah.
But in his entire career, he'd never lost a corner off an open wheeler in any category, is what.
Yeah, wow. Across the whole career, mate.
Whole career.
Wow.
A pod was talking about it that they didn't think he had lost a corner before, and now he's done one nearly every weekend. Like since Baku, it's been.
Yeah, it's not been good.
Well, let's be, he's probably due a couple then if he's never lost one.
Yeah.
But bad timing.
Yeah, terrible timing.
You're right about the team. The team management is strange. Even Zach said in an interview at the workshop with Andrea, they were together. It was almost like it almost looked like a crisis pod where they were talking about their management justification of it.
Right.
And he said, we would almost rather 2008 happen again, which was the year they lost a title to Raikkonen won, and it was because McLaren couldn't really decide between Alonso and Hamilton that year.
Oh, yeah.
It might have been 2007.
Yep.
And he said, we would rather that happen again than choose a number one. I'm like, what fucking team leader would say they would rather come second in the driver's title than win? So you're going to allow, and I just thought that was not a good justification of why you're not, you're just allowing the drivers to take points off each other.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then you do allow Max to creep back in within arm's reach of a title again. I just thought,
Imagine if he snatches it.
I don't think he's going
I don't think he can.
But
almost 2 races now, isn't it?
Well, Lando's going to have no points. It's something coming up, but it has been. I like Max more than I've ever liked him.
I think everyone's like, well,
like when he was winning, he was whingy Max. Like it was terrible. Like I was just like, I just don't like you at all. It doesn't matter. You're winning by 30 seconds, and there's problems, and you're bringing none. I also love Giampero.
JP's Lambiasi.
Yeah, he's so good. When he said something to whatever it was the other day to Max,
diff settings, in the pit lane.
But also I've got some ideas for I'll offer you some tools or whatever. And Max came back with something, and he's like, "Well, Max, I've got them. I'll give them to. It's up to you if you use them or not." Kind of thing. It's like I just
That was unreal. I love that. That was under that red
good.
flag when he said it's like a tractor or something to drive, or it's bucking everywhere. I think their relationship's great.
Yeah,
and that's what motorsport. That actually, for me, that relationship sums up what we need more of, or an understanding of. Nothing's personal. They have a great relationship, but they speak to each other. Sometimes you're like, you'd almost think they need to be intervened in the debriefs, but that's their relationship, and everything's performance based. But then sometimes people take things,
and clearly, too. I mean, Max is a motive, and which is again is a good thing. He is obviously a perfectionist, and when it's not right, it was a disaster. Can you believe a team that can turn a car around like that?
I know, overnight.
It was a shitbox.
Qualified 16th.
I mean, 9/10 off pole, and the thing is clearly a horror show, and they go away overnight and go, yep, okay, we'll take it out of Parc Ferme and we'll start from the pit lane.
Yeah.
And you're like, and it comes out the next day, and it is a weapon. Like, okay, he got a little leg up. I mean, I reckon the puncture actually was a good thing.
I thought the same. When he got it, I was like, he was on the same tyre. It actually gave him an offset, and he was on the back of him so quick it didn't matter.
That's right. And he got rid of and then he could choose whatever he wanted to do after that, right? So and he just ploughed through the field, and you knew he was going to pass some cars, but it became quite. And Lando's comments at the end around saying, like, realising that he only finished 10 seconds behind, going, we need to look at this.
Yeah,
like that's not far enough. He's way too close.
Yep,
and that was. And he was passing cars all the way through that as well.
Yeah. Yep.
It was phenomenal. I mean, and he's actually, you can see the excitement for Max. Like he's actually...
He likes the chase.
Yeah. He's like, okay, I'm probably not going to win this, but Jesus Christ, I'm going to have some fun, bloody, putting pressure on these guys and seeing how much I can break, who I can break along the way. It's fantastic.
Max said in an interview he's never had the elation of winning since his first one. And that's what's made him realise, if I don't win this one, it doesn't really matter. He says, it's not going to change my life. I've got a long life left, and Formula One will be hopefully a small part of what I've got. And I'm like, that would be the best feeling, to feel like that. And that's probably why he's so likeable, right?
Well, I think we spoke in the last pod about power. He's got more power in that whole paddock than everyone else, I reckon, put together.
Yeah.
And what a place to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he just consistently just bangs it on the table. I'm the best. I am the best. And I keep doing shit that reminds you how freaking good I am.
100%.
What a space to be in.
Even this year, he's not leading the title, and everyone's like, but Max is the best.
Yeah.
He
just keeps doing things. He just keeps doing things in a car that just like no one else can get close to.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think there's going to be an issue with retaining someone like Oscar in the future if McLaren don't fix this?
I would imagine that Mark and Anne are already looking at what their plan is for the future. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's sustainable having the two of them together. It's not sustainable. I just don't see how it is. Again, it's because of this the two number one status kind of thing. Someone's going to have to go at some stage. Yeah.
and it's not going to be Lando.
Nah.
The thing is, I'd love to buy into the conspiracy theory like everyone says about the car not being right, but there's too many people that work from being drivers. We know there's too many people that work on each car that want to see each car do well.
Yep.
Like your number one is never going to allow anything not to be right on that car.
Yep.
So unfortunately, he's in this slump, and it's really only Oscar that can get himself out of it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't a good.
I don't believe. I'm not
year for
into any of the conspiracy theory stuff either at all. And it's you read that article by Mark Hughes that I mentioned after Mexico. It really just in layman's terms just lays it out and where it is and what the thing is. And again, it acknowledges. So no, I don't believe in any of that. Yeah.
Hunters, I just want to take a moment to thank one of our fantastic supporters, Shaw and Partners Financial Services. Shaw and Partners are a leading national investment advice and wealth management firm. They act for and on behalf of individuals, institutions, corporates, charities, and family offices. So, if you're looking for advice or assistance with investments or strategies, look no further than Shaw and Partners Financial Services. With a 35-year history and 8 offices strategically placed all over Australia, their financial advisors are within reach and ready to provide tailored solutions and advice. For more information, follow the link in the description of this podcast. Back to the show.
Before we dive into some supercar stuff, mate, you've been doing a little bit of driving lately yourself.
A little bit.
Well, you were at Goodwood, so I want to touch on that and ask you how that was. But then you also raced the GT4, was it last week, the week before?
Yeah, last week.
And you had the biggest jump start on a restart I've ever seen. Did you get done for that in the end?
No.
Okay. If you haven't
seen it,
dude,
You haven't seen it. The safety car restart.
Did you not get done? Did you actually jump though?
Oh, shit, yeah.
And you didn't get done.
I passed cars.
Did he jump? He went from like 10th to first.
Fourth. He was fourth.
He was
man.
miles up the road.
Yeah. No, but then I got passed by someone who was 3 cars behind
Oh,
me.
mate, there was chaos. I've never seen a restart like it.
It was mental.
Like, you breathed on the throttle in Adelaide and got done.
Oh, mate, this was like, it was funny. And then they've interviewed you.
No, we're in GT. It was awesome. It was
Whereabouts?
In Hampton Downs.
Okay.
So Monochrome GT4 was over. They came over. There's 20-something cars. It was an epic event. It was the first race meeting of our next gen championship, so our New Zealand championship stuff, and then the World Challenge cars were there for their final as well. So the GT3 stuff. So it was an awesome way to start our series with 2 classes, and a mate of mine, Grant Aiken who lives down in Queenstown. He's got an Audi R8 GT4 car, and he's like, oh, I want to, we should go. I'm going to go up and do it, but I need you to come and play with me. And I'm like, yeah, well, let's have a play. So it was a bit of a challenge to start with because he hadn't been on a Pirelli before. So we had to, there was just me and a couple of his mates who are very good at mechanically, very good, but we're not engineers. And so we had to freaking work out why this thing was so terrible on the Pirelli. And we got it going pretty good, actually, in the end.
So you got to the lead.
Yeah, we qualified 12th. And so I started the first race and I was just like, something is going to happen at turn 1.
Oh,
yeah.
And something is going to happen. So I was like, Daniel Gaunt was in front of me.
Yep.
And so we've both arrived down at turn 1 and sure enough, there's cars going freaking everywhere. So he's, what did I say? I was 13th, I think, and he was 11th. And we've come out second and fourth out of the start. And he was in with TQ in his Supra. And anyway, so and then there's the safety car. So safety car gets called on the because of the first lap. Anyway, so we're warming up and we're coming around. So the rules in Australian SRO is different to what we have in New Zealand.
Okay.
And maybe not. I didn't fully read the rule books. There was a briefing. Beardo did a really good briefing and stuff, and so I was pretty confident.
you just weren't listening.
Well, no, I was because I hadn't done SRO before, so I was actually listening. So, but he talked about the control line, but he didn't. I'm sure he didn't say at the time, and I'm positive of it, that he didn't say, because he just calls it the control line. So the control line in SRO is the start-finish line. Our control line is way down the bottom of the track.
Yeah.
So you've gone.
So when the lights went green, I'm like, yeah, boys, let's go. And I took off. But the rule the rule in SRO is you cannot go out of line and you cannot pass anyone until you get to their control line, which is the start-finish line. By the time I got to the start-finish line, I was in front. So
First.
Yeah.
And the lead is still doing 80 Ks an hour.
How did you not get done for that though?
Well, there's a few things because in the regs, there was the map that was used in the regs had our safety car control line marked on the official map that was given to us in the regs, with nothing at the start finish line, which is the control line, and so it was a little bit difficult.
Did you argue this during the race through the helmet?
No, shit, no.
No, it was fun. Like, they come and interviewed you because your stint was pretty good. You had the elbows up, mate.
I was, but listen, I'm slow and old, but the car was just we have been struggling to get the tyre pressures right. I know this sounds like a complete excuse.
That's page 6 of the driver's book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'd up them quite a lot because we just couldn't get the thing to work. So we were all over the place. Anyway, they were too high, and they did go off, and I was starting to be an absolute dead set chicane.
Yeah, I thought something must happen because you led early, and then I was like, oh, he's got the very wide elbows.
And if someone wants to say bullshit, you're just slow, I'm happy with that too. But the car turned into a bit of a shit show, and so so I lasted till whatever, and then came in, I don't know where I was at the end, 5th or something, when we pitted and swapped over and did that. But it was a bit of fun, actually. The race, it was quite good. It was quite good fun.
Hampton's is a good track too.
Oh, it is.
It looked really fun, mate. I was watching and I was like that whole race, because there was so many more cars, a few Kiwis that know the track really well there. Like the racing was great. It
was really good. There's some, it's intense. I mean, there's some great drivers in there doing awesome stuff. But the rules, as I say, we were sort of like pretty confident we were right, but then I realised no, we're definitely wrong. And then I said, well, why didn't you should have just given us right? He goes, and they were so busy with so much stuff going on. There were so many people getting penalties for all sorts of things, and in the end there was too many cars that actually jumped the start as well.
It was chaos, mate.
As soon as we went, everyone's just like, fuck, panic, and it was just chaos. It was everywhere.
You'd be penalising someone off jumping at the most.
Yeah. And it wasn't me. I didn't jump at the most. So it was pretty funny.
Was impressive. What about Goodwood, mate?
It's the best thing I've ever done.
Had you done it before?
No, never been.
Yeah. It's on my bucket list.
You guys put it up the top.
Yeah.
So good.
Unfortunately, we probably won't get to drive in it though. You got to actually
just go and stand there would be cool.
Richo and I, people they keep going, oh, I know how fast you are. And I was like, mate, neither of us give a shit, because the privilege of actually being a part of that and just at that event, and the weather was amazing, which definitely helped the Monaro on its slick tyres because the temperatures were warm, so I didn't have to really worry about them too much.
Even pushing on that, though, you'd not really want to. It'd be so easy to lock a front. It was like, it just looked like an absolute...
like imagine? The driver's briefing, Lord March does this briefing, and basically he is saying, if you make a mistake and you hit the hay bales and do something bad to this event, pretty much, he didn't say it, but it's like, you will never step foot on this place ever again kind of deal.
Right. Yeah.
But we got treated so well. It was just incredible. But, I could have laughed about this because there was over 100 Formula One cars there.
Wow.
Because it was celebrating 75 years of Formula One.
Right.
So there's just this array of cars and people, and you go to a Formula One event, you can't get near anything, right, unless you've got the right pass. There is Formula One cars of the most beautiful, of all the beautiful eras, and there's current Formula One cars or close to it. You're standing literally that far away from them. And
with almost any ticket.
With any ticket, with anything. They just everyone. You're free to go pretty much anywhere other than the the corporate areas. But as far as cars go, you are amongst them. There's all the Rothmans, Porsches, 956, 962s all lined up, just like standing there for anyone to basically get a photo next to, all this kind of stuff. It was insane. But I'm rolling down the hill on the Saturday or something, I think, after we'd done a run. You go up the top, you park up the top, and there's just madness going on, right? The bloody Ocon and Beerman turned up in both the Haas's, right? And they're just doing donuts, like in this tiny little area. There's smoke and shit going everywhere, and people are just going nuts. And Travis Pastrana's standing there, and there's Derek Bell, and then there's just all these icons of the sport, and everyone's just having a great time. It is exactly what it looks like on TV, on the coverage that they do. But I'm rolling back down the hill on the Monaro. They loved it. I think they might have loved the Nissan and the Skyline that Richo was in better. People just gravitated towards our cars like you wouldn't believe. Which was so cool. So many fans from Europe that were there that just love all our stuff. But I'm rolling down the hill, and it's steep. It's like It's like when you go to Bathurst for the first time and you go, no way, we don't drive around here.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't drive around here. That's just ridiculous. It's way too
right.
steep. You're on the brake in neutral, on the brake down the hill, rolling down the hill at Goodwood, like hanging on.
I had no idea.
It is so steep. It's crazy. Again, TV just doesn't do it justice. So rolling down the hill and we get down to the bottom sort of section, the long straight-ish kind of part down the bottom. And a marshal comes out and stands there and stops me. And out rolls, going down to line up, out rolls Elaine Prost and MP44 McLaren.
Fuck.
And the guy just waves me along behind him. And I'm like, to some people they go, oh. I'm like, it's Elaine Prost and an MP44 McLaren, one of my favourite Formula One car of all time. And one of the best drivers
to ever do it.
And sitting behind him.
And I'm sitting behind him and I'm going, surely he's looking in the mirror going, fuck him, I'm on the same bit of road as Greg Murphy.
You'd be like,
100%. He's like,
100%.
He's like, is that the 427 Monaro?
From 2003?
he definitely would have been like King of Pukekohe.
Yeah, there he is. It's all that kind of shit, you know. It's
That is surreal, though.
It was
and
so good.
sitting behind that would be a pinch yourself moment.
It was to me, that's just like, it was like, man, this basically epitomizes, you know, this event. And you know, my daughter was there too, which was really cool. And we went to the ball on the Saturday night. That was a highlight moment for us. I mean, had never really shown a huge amount of interest in motorsport, but
That type of motorsport, she will though.
She was.
If there's a ball and all that stuff.
So there's Verve clique bloody flowing everywhere, left, right, and centre. It was just incredible.
Surprisingly, she didn't come to test days at Winton though.
No,
But the ball at Goodwood, she was happy to go.
funnily
to.
enough, yeah.
It does look amazing.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that even as a fan though, you can get up and see it all.
Mate,
That is unreal.
We should go to some
Fans-
coverage there, mate.
Yep,
Yeah.
you should go into a pod there. The fans,
Like, would be as good as that.
they just access is phenomenal.
I kind of felt like it would be an exclusive, like a little bit more, because
No, the Lord March is they're just not like that. Like you can go into the house, you go into the manor, you walk around. People can. The access is amazing. There are obviously areas for corporate, and the car companies now are spending a lot of money there, because it's become pretty much the British car show. Right. You know, they come and they will have access to take people on the hill climb, and maybe new cars, or if they're doing, they'll have a driver with a new car that they'll put, special customers or whatever and take them for runs. Or the hospitality units are like the Formula One hospitality units that they build there that take weeks to erect, So you just don't get sick of it. I mean, we were there 4 days and I could have stayed there for another 2 days afterwards.
how many runs did you get to do on the hill?
End up getting 7.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it was 7. Because we were put into the shootout, we got extra runs. Yeah,
Right.
it was unreal. And the old girl was awesome. And then on the last run, it broke a trumpet.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, it's not running. It's just not running quite right. And actually, on the way down, I was idling on the way down, and it actually had an airbox fire
Oh, shit.
on the after we'd finished the last run. So it didn't really do any damage, but it was how lucky is that? Because there's no way we could have fixed it. So.
Is that car living over there now?
No,
It just got
it's
shipped
back,
over for that
back
event.
at GRM at the moment. I think just getting tidied up and getting that repair done as well. So, but it was so much fun to drive up there. It was really good.
What a crazy opportunity to get to drive it.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually do that.
It's a really special car.
Yeah, that car's like my icon as a child. Like that was,
As a child, thanks there, Bart.
So, mate.
Well, we have to bring you down a little bit. I went in and we were chatting just before we came on the pod, and I said about my first Bathurst. I won mine.
Yeah.
So
we had to knock you down a peg.
so thank you, Elliot. We actually we owe you a few.
Sorry, boys.
We owe you a few.
2003's in his fucking nappies somewhere. Yeah.
I was probably a teenager, not a child, but that's okay.
I was 13.
Yeah, it was cool. It was, and it was sort of makes you think about it again because when obviously Gary Rogers died the other week, a sad loss, and it brought back that memory of for me, GT and I bloody with 8 minutes to go, whatever it was in that race, and Gary comes on the radio, and he's like, right, yeah. You guys are free to race. We've been racing for 23 hours and 45 minutes, and he's like, you're free to race. And just whatever you do, don't fucking hit each other. I'm like, can you say that again? I'm like, we're we're only 8 minutes away from the end of 24 hours of driving these bloody things, and you are going to let us fucking go at it to the finish. And I'll never forget it. It was just the most amazing. And that's the way he was, you know, it was phenomenal. And, you know, winning that race with PB was a real huge highlight in my life.
Yeah, that's pretty special.
And then to be reunited with that car and spend some time with it and take it to somewhere like that. I mean, it's like the perfect car to take there almost, right? Certainly from an Australian perspective. They love supercars. Man, if we could take supercars to Brands Hatch.
I know.
Could you imagine? Yeah.
Oh, my God. It would just,
They just love touring cars, don't they? They love that aggressive touring car style.
But they are jealous of our stuff.
Yeah, well, they got front-wheel drive shitboxes.
That's right. But they are purely, they really are. They're jealous of what we have, and the amount of people that watch our stuff, watch supercars, and appreciate it. And
even the drivers have a lot of respect. I remember when I was doing F3 and I said that I was talking to one of the drivers there, and I was saying I was coming back to Australia and I was going to race supercars. And he was jealous. Yeah. He was like, oh, I'd love to. Kevin Magnussen was another one.
Yeah.
He has always said if there's ever an opportunity for the Gold Coast to do dual, the internationals, he's like, that would be my dream. To race a supercar would be like Bathurst or
he'd probably still, I think he'd probably still get a gig as a co-driver at bloody one of those races.
Yeah, he's still racing now, LMP, his factory driver now. But
his old man only just retired from Corvette like not long ago.
It's funny when you see some people here in Australia belittle our championship and you go, and they say, oh, those guys never, the internationals don't even think about supercars. Actually, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They have a lot of respect.
They absolutely do. Yeah. I mean, those couple of years, how many years did we do that whole international driver at the Gold Coast?
Huge.
It was nuts. When we think about it, it was just completely insane.
And no one struggled to get an international driver. Everyone was like, I'll do it.
They were massive names too,
yeah. Everyone was having a crack at it.
Absolutely.
While we're talking supercars, mate, what's your thoughts on the finals format?
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I just think it's generating so much hype, so much interest. Or is that just me? But
I agree.
We're both kind of on the same page.
I think it's fantastic. And interestingly enough, too, like it's the first go at it, and it's actually like I don't know if you'd change much. Like it's actually, it seems to be almost perfect at the moment. I'm sure something could very much happen that we go, oh, okay, maybe it could be better. But at the moment, I don't see that. I think the way that they've structured the finals drivers and given them extra points and stuff, I think that's a fair thing. No, I think it's epic.
What about then, actually, because we only talked about this, what would we change the other night on a pod, and we were saying one thing I thought of that I actually was wrong. Someone corrected me in the comment. We're very smart listeners. Straight away, someone said that Chaz won at Taupo. I'd forgotten about that. But I think it would be great to reward a winner. So if you win the sprint championship, a way you could make this possible is that guy is guaranteed to go to Sandown. So he's in top 7. And so sprint champion gets a little bit bigger of a prize.
And then
everyone else that wins a race throughout the season prior to Gold Coast gets an additional 25 points for that race win. Because I felt like Woody, for instance, was too much on the brink of being out given he'd won a race because there's not many race winners.
Yeah.
So I think the guys that win a race should be given a little bit more of a leg up going into Gold Coast because the 25 points Brock got, he was like, well, the Enduro Cup got the same for 2 races. Yeah. So there I was like, he said the sprint championship meant nothing to him. He was like, I just wanted 25 points.
Of course it meant nothing.
So, but I think for Woody and a few others, like now Chaz obviously had a good Goldie, but winning a race, if he got an extra 25 points for that, you'd have the winners more towards the top of the top 10.
Yep.
As opposed to being on the brink like Woody was.
Oh, I think, I think
other than that,
I think that's a great idea too. Absolutely should be looked at.
I think what's highlighted, to your point, Murph, how good of a job they've done for the first crack is the NASCAR issue.
Yeah.
I think that's now highlighting, well, fuck, actually, maybe supercars have kind of nailed this out the bag. Like,
but we do have very different structures, though.
Yeah.
With our multi-race formats.
Which is, I think they're looking at, that's their most likely
they're
thing they're going to is a 10-race format at the end, which we are 8. We're 8 races.
Yeah, but also just also our weekend formats as well, having, I just, they're it's okay, they get 3 races to get into the next level, okay? So I suppose it is sort of, it's similar in that respect, but and then winner takes all at the last one, which I don't mind, to be fair, in NASCAR, but I don't know, I just think, I don't know really what I'm saying with that, because I think ours is really good. It seems to be working really well.
It is surprising that, and no offense to him, but I'm like, geez, what a a massive shift or change in the category. And we're nearly at the end, and it's the only thing I can think of is maybe reward the winners a bit more.
That's it.
And other than that, but
well, that's good. I hadn't even thought of that.
it'd be interesting at Adelaide though, because one that I didn't think of until some of the guys at T8 had told me is they're a little bit bummed that Chaz was over 700 points behind Brock at the Gold Coast. I didn't realise it was that far. I looked at Matty Payne because I've always gone, well, if Matty Payne won in Adelaide, I don't feel ripped off because there was only 56 points between him and Brock actually. Like it looked like Brock should have been. If you don't look at every round, you think Brock's miles ahead, but he actually wasn't. So the reset was 30 points instead of 56. But it's Chaz that's been the big winner, and for me, he might be my favourite at Adelaide. But that's a big win.
But that is because they are the ones that have done such a great management job, and his management of all his races. At the end of it, he was so good. I mean, he wouldn't have won the championship yet because Matt Payne's actually very bloody close, which is and that comes from a couple of races that obviously have hurt him. But that is the flip side of it for them, is that Chaz was that far back, but now he's in the game. But that's the whole idea of the finals. Yeah. That's why it is what it is. So yes, they feel hard done by in that respect, but it's made it exciting, and people can go, oh yeah, but this is that point about the points differentiation. But that's why we've done it. So we can have more people in the run and make it more exciting. So, there's a catch to it. But as far as the system and the way it's been framed, it's a gem.
Well, this pod is being recorded pre-Sandown for those listening. Yeah. But if you had to guess now, mate, who is your top four going into Adelaide? Who do you think is going to make the cut?
I think it's the top four that are currently the top four.
Okay. So that's Brock, Matty Payne, Chaz,
Waters.
Yeah.
No will.
It's going to be line ball, but I wouldn't be surprised if the four that we've got are the four that go through.
Okay.
I mean they are form. They are. And they're also kings of pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Kings of dealing with pressure. So I think that holds them in good stead to be able to follow through.
Cranked up a bit. Yeah.
Hey, and Will is right there, but what has been letting him down is qualifying, and the other four I think are probably in a better space, and that's in with the opportunities on where they're going to stick their cars. So that's sort of the key difference between them. His race speed and everything clearly is amazing. Fine, but if he can get on top of a bit of working the one lap speed, then maybe that'll change. But that's an amazing four to carry through to Adelaide if it is.
Yeah. And they're all very good at Adelaide. We said it on the...
They're almost all Adelaide specialists.
Like they've all won at Adelaide. Because Waters has won there, hasn't he?
Yeah. Matt won his first ever race there.
Yeah. Matt...
smashed them, remember, in his first year. That was amazing.
They've all had Adelaides where they've hosed the field. Yeah.
And also just been in the most incredible battles too. They've all been in these huge fights there to win races there. They're
all hard races, yeah. It's going to be exciting. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And what about how do you feel about Woody then this year? Because I almost feel like he's been a little hard done by with the mechanicals.
I wouldn't say a little.
Very, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. You got to look at there's a lot of things you can say which don't actually make it any better. It's his second year and he's got a big future, all that kind of stuff. He gives at the end of the day, he has been very fast. He and Richard Harris have clearly got a real good click going. They've been an important, integral part of obviously bringing the whole team as well. Yeah. It's not. They are. It's not number ones and number twos there. And I think Chaz is really working with that too, and using that to his advantage.
Yeah, he definitely does seem like a number one there at the moment, even though the championship right now doesn't look like it. He has led the way this year by the looks of it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to take those failures. I mean, Bathurst was we were talking about this off air. Bathurst is just Bathurst. You do not count your chickens until that you come out of that last corner on the last lap. And you are the one to cross the finish line first. Yeah. And this year, in this case, it was the guy that finished second that actually won the race. So So you've got to remember that's the way it goes. It doesn't matter if you're running second or you've been leading the race with 30 laps to go. That these days, it's just not over until it's over, especially in those conditions. But to have what happened to him, to take him out of the race, again, is one of those stories that's going to be told. In 20 years' time, you remember when that happened, and it's just part of what goes on at the great race and pretty much any race. The one at the Gold Coast, that was heart wrenching.
Yeah,
I wanted to throw something through the television when that happened. Shit does happen, but in these situations where you are what you're playing for, it's just mistakes can't be made. So it's a massive learning for everybody at WAU to work to make sure these things are not going to happen moving forward. And everyone does that. You need to credit everybody that does work in the F1. In the supercar paddock, right?
Yeah.
Man, it's sometimes such a thankless task. The amount of hours that these cars take to run and get ready for race meetings, unless you're involved in it, you just don't understand the workload that it takes to make that happen. So it's you can throw rocks, but you've got to put it into context of the workloads and the turnarounds that they've got to do with cars these days. After Bathurst, you've got to take a car home and turn it around and have it in a truck going to the Gold Coast. Was it Tuesday probably? So what did you get? Like
4
or 5 days.
Sandown, even as an example, Queensland teams have 3 days.
Yeah.
Before Adelaide.
There you
by
go.
the time the trucks get back.
And so that's massive. So so you say you've got to do better. Well, it is incredibly. That's a huge challenge when you put that to a team to say you've got to try and knock these things out and make them not happen. It's a tough ask. So everyone suffers when that happens, right?
Yeah.
No one is to be singled out about it. You win as a team, you lose as a team. I truly believe in that. Albeit when I was racing, I was a lot of times I wouldn't have acknowledged, wouldn't have made it look like it was that case. But he's had to deal with that, and it's going to make him definitely stronger, without question. But it's just, there's always winners and losers, and geez, how many cliches am I going to say?
Well, even when it's okay. Elliot's really good at them as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But even with Woody, the thing is too, because there's a lot of people that have the same experiences. They're probably just not in the spotlight as well. Yeah. So it's not like this is isolated to Walkinshaw.
No.
Yeah.
And that's
it's not.
That's why you say
absolutely
it's
not.
great to acknowledge that how hard everyone's working in the lane. It is unfortunate that a potential title contender has had them happen.
Well, it's when you're leading.
In key
leading
moments.
Perth.
I mean,
key
Perth.
moments.
It's like
when
everyone's
you're
going to see
leading.
that.
I mean, I need to win a race to get through to be guaranteed Sandown.
I know. Fuck.
Right.
And
So what do you do? What do you need to do that? Well, I need to qualify on pole. I need to lead the race. Tick.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, it's,
And then. So
Perth was the same, perfect example. Both key moments where he was leading.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I mean, it was one of those ones too that was not to say that Bathurst was a fairy tale because it didn't work, but because he didn't get the result where he could have potentially won the race, but they got back out, just made the 75% rules, just scraped in, and then the very next race he's leading.
Yeah. Doing, yes.
Yeah.
Making it happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody, I mean, I love shootouts, right? I don't necessarily love the fact that we do them as much as we do, but a shootout at the Gold Coast is pretty exciting. To go there and do that, it's your second time there and stuff. I mean, you either can drive the Gold Coast and you love it or you don't. One or the other. But to go and stick it on pole like that, that was epic.
I've picked him this weekend actually for a win because we hadn't, and then I remembered how good he is on the 24 tyre. I'm a big fan of the old tyre. I actually don't like the new one, especially now having raced on it.
Yep.
And Woody and Will, I think Saturday. That's my gut feel is Will making it through because both those guys on the 24 tyre are very strong. I think Brock's dominance has come with that Sunday as well, being one of the only guys to really get his head around that tyre. It's very edgy on the way in. So I think Woody this weekend will have the upper hand again.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting because he's the guy that can move over for Chaz now. Chaz has that, whereas
he's the only one.
Whereas Brock and Will are going to be taking a win off each other. You know, it could be if they're first and second.
Yeah.
It's Woody's going to be moving over to let Chaz win.
That's right. And if the other three, pairs of two, other three pairs of two, I mean, they don't give a shit about their teammate.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which again is another whole nother dynamic.
Yeah. No, it has been good. It's definitely exciting. How do you feel about are you looking forward to the Toyota next year?
I think the car looks amazing. The workmanship of it and everything is exceptional. But on paper, with our regulations and hopefully with what's done in the wind tunnel, we should come back with 3 cars, on paper that should be very close.
Yeah.
Right.
In whatever you can achieve in 4 days. I think it's 4 days they have.
Yeah, I mean,
3
it's
cars.
going to be incredibly challenging. I mean, there shouldn't be a lot of sleep. There shouldn't be a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
But they've got a pretty good. You hope there's a pretty good handle on 2 of the cars, and they've just got to try and reference the third one. I mean, that I make that sound easy, but I know it's not.
Where are the bars though? We can make it it's super easy because we're not doing it.
That's right, and we can criticise them and get it
exactly.
wrong. But so I think there's a lot of things in the rule book that should mean that we should have 3 cars. But as you know, what it says on paper and what the wind tunnel says doesn't always correlate when you're on a racetrack.
Yep.
And also, that car, just for whatever reasons, is it's going to need to be tuned potentially a different way. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's exciting that there's another manufacturer in it, and it's a pretty awesome looking bit of kit. So it's great for our sport. Is it going to be great out the box? I mean, that's anyone's guess. Can't knock the amount of work that's gone into it.
Yeah. Was parity a big topic when you were racing? Like, this is something that seems to be so popular now. Like, not popular. It's just at the forefront of
When was it really far out? Was it? It was all through Project Blueprint. That was a big.
That's when it kicked off. But I feel like that's when we started getting close.
Yeah,
but it was.
Like, I remember when Marcus came back though. He said when he came back from the States and we were at Sandown doing the enduro.
Yep.
And he said the fucking engine's no good or whatever. I just can't pull out and pass anyone. I was like, fuck, when have you been able when could you do that? Like,
when I was at Stone Brothers.
I haven't been able to do that since you could buy like 10 go-kart motors. And
You've actually done that? Yeah.
And so in terms of parity, I think our championship is fucking close.
Yeah.
But
Bathurst, what was it across the...
Yeah, there's something.
I
I agree totally with what Will said. Oh, and was it you and Will, or who said that after Bathurst?
I think
it's an aero thing.
Pretty. Yeah, I think it's off the boot. It's the drag we get behind them is massive.
Mate, well, it was, but didn't Bathurst just make that obvious?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
The helicopter cam from down Conrod.
That's not horsepower.
No.
It's drag off the front car.
The thing just obviously leaves the biggest wake behind it.
Which is why I think in the shootout, it can do a lap because there's no one pulling it back. There's no one getting a slipstream off it.
Of course it can.
And so I think we're making the forward slower when we're behind it. I think we're actually pulling it back.
I mean, you've felt, mate. We've all felt the toe.
Yeah.
The side toe on a supercar is just how you get this toe, and then all of a sudden when you get to here, it equalises, and then the other one starts to go.
Yep.
Now, I mean, aerodynamics is such a tricky thing. But I agree. I mean, that's why Brodie could go and do what he did in the shootout, right? It's not. I don't believe it's power either. You've got 2 engines now. You've got 2 engines with quad cam, 32 valves, and one that doesn't. And the way they spin, the way they get going, I'm pretty sure they can't. They're not the same.
Yeah, can't make it.
So there is going to be a slight difference there. Surely there has to be. And I'm no engineer expert, but that's the way I look at it. But looking at Bathurst and watching those cars in the race. It was just a wake thing to me. It was someone from. You're in a Camaro and you get into the back of that thing. You just must be like, put your arm on the windowsill.
Honestly, you'll be out of the toe, and you're like, fuck, it doesn't really look like it looks the same, right? But once we get within a certain distance, it's literally like I can hook on the back of it and pull it to me. Yeah. But then if you don't get the toe, but you come out and you get an overlap early out of the elbow.
Yep.
You can actually drive door to door
and nothing happens.
And you're like, fucking hell. But if you put me behind them, and then you put me behind a Chev, and I don't get that that pull. You know, I don't get the draft. It's just your standard slipstream you get. And that was my argument. And also, I think that's what has a bigger impact in the race than it does in qualifying.
Of course it does.
It's not something that degrades.
You come off onto the the longest straight that we race on, going downhill, and you're 4 car lengths behind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the perfect distance to get a tow.
Yep.
And I mean, of course it's going to show up. It's going to show up more than anywhere else.
And even when, not to go about this on too much, but they did say as well that the power down low is where the Ford had more.
To your point.
So when you fill it up with fuel, I was kind of saying, well, that should be better, wouldn't it?
When it's heavier and bulkier.
Yeah, heavier. You're spending more time at a lower RPM with the Ford, which is where it's stronger. So why is everyone saying it's so much worse in the race than the shootout? It doesn't make any sense to me. Because you would think that would have a bigger impact on the Chev's motor. And then even I did have someone from Walkinshaw the other day say, well, it's we're pretty confident we've got too much downforce at the moment. I'm like, well, makes fucking sense as well if you've got too much drag.
Yeah,
But even,
absolutely.
I think it was Roland saying to me about the back of the NASCAR, I didn't realise that all the NASCARs have to be the same at the back, because when they built the new car, they were stressed about different manufacturers having a different wake and creating a different draft for each car.
So all the shapes are the same.
So they said, okay, you can tweak the front of the car, but the rear has to be the same.
Yep.
So that the slipstream, whether you're in a Toyota or a Chev or a Ford, is the same. When you're behind a different manufacturer, you don't get an advantage.
So do you know then, we wouldn't be able to, or can they visualise, can they see in the wind tunnel what's going on behind the car?
Comes off the back, I don't know.
Yeah,
Have they even focused on that?
well, it's not going to be
It'd be interesting if they have or not. Yeah, I don't know.
not far enough back, because obviously they don't have a massive trail.
they can't, can they?
So
that was the Nissan's problem back in the day. The Nissan, you couldn't drive around behind it at Phillip Island because the aero wash was so bad, but park it at Bathurst and the thing was literally like it was pulling a parachute. It was so bad for them. Like we could draft up to it was like stand still.
In a straight line.
In a straight line. Yeah. Whereas the Volvo, no chance. That thing never left there was nothing to slipstream off.
There was no wake. Because you'd want to be able to visualise, be able to see what the vortices are, 20, 30, whatever behind. I mean, that would tell you a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have pressure sensors or something, or what. I don't know, actually. There you go.
yeah,
Not sure.
Interesting. There we go. We've gone.
we've solved the problem. That was easy over
We've
at the
deep
bar
dived
for
down a
10
rabbit
minutes.
hole. Well, that's it, mate. I mean, we just really wanted to catch up and chat motorsport. It's been fun, and also the road safety was, I thought, really interesting that you had gone and gone into competition and podcasting with us, mate, since we last spoke. So
I think you're still ahead.
It's all right. We had a head start, but thank you, mate. Actually, we're probably going to be reminded after, but we're going to be ahead of you on something.
Correct. Yeah, we've got to do something better than you have, mate.
Oh, geez, I do sound like a wanker.
I appreciate the chat. It's nice to have
Thanks,
you back
boys.
here, mate.
Appreciate it.